Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a very high level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have a bit of a special one. It's in the top right spawning as our red ZERG player. It's going to be Chum. And in the bottom left as our blue TERRAN, playing for Team Kaisi Gaming, it is Reynor. Reynor's TERRAN off-race currently rank, I think it is 30 on the European Grandmaster ladder. Chum is the current Latin American champion, taking out both Calazur as well as Special. I think he took out Special twice actually. Very impressive result in a region where usually the Terrans win. This time around it was Chum who managed to win the Latin American regionals for Atlanta, and thus qualifying directly as well for Group Stage 3 at that DreamHack Atlanta. And then we also have Reynor, a player that is known for his powerful off-race, mainly with Protoss. He has played some more Terran lately. I'm mainly thinking of, I think, some EPT runs that I saw him play with Terran. And just on ladder in general, he has been quite active with this race as well. We'll have to wait and see how good he is. Can he do what Special, and I believe Calazur also lost him, but I'm not entirely sure on that anymore. But for sure Special lost twice. So can he do what Special couldn't? Of course, it's a different situation, as this was indeed a ladder game. And it seems to start with a triple CC opener coming out of Reynor here. Third CC on the high ground. Is it well hidden? Yes. Oh my god. Chum hasn't sent a single overlord across the map. Look at that. What an interesting approach here to this matchup. Oh my god, I hate this announcer. Okay, this is the last time I'm going first person vision for Chum. You can't do that. Absolutely not. It's an annoying voice. I can't believe people play with that. What was I going to say? Right. An interesting approach here on the matchup is saying, hey, if I have enough vision around my base, I'm not going to take any damage. And then I play kind of a catch-all build order with relatively fast layer. Oh my god. Is he building 4 blind spores at 445? This is actually insane. This is extremely expensive. The moment that Reynor decides to not play a Liberator or Cloak Banshee, and that's indeed the case here. We see Reynor opening up with a single Viking, 8 Hellion, relatively greedy build order, would struggle perhaps with some certain roach attacks, but that's not what Chum is going for here. Chum is quickly tacking into the lair, double spores. That really is a lot of money that is being wasted here. At the same time, the link count is rather low, only at 10. If Reynor decides to run by, that could be problematic here for Chum. A couple more links do end up popping out. There's 14 right now. Is the control going to be good? It's pretty good on the links. There's just not enough links. I mean, if you have 8 links versus 8 Hellions, like no matter how good your control is going to be, you're going to lose all your links and probably not kill anything whatsoever. Chum struggling here with that Evo wall. As we see, what is it? 9, 10, 11, 12 workers are most likely now. It's got to be 11 workers for now. Will end up falling here. More links are in production. And that's one of the issues as well, like, you still need to build those links. So 16 more links get produced, there could have been 8 more drones. So not only do you lose the initial links and do you lose the drones, you also just lose the opportunity to build more drones because you're forced into building more links. Now, of course, there also is a massive downside here for Reynor, where from this point on out, run-bys towards the third base are going to be, well, rather dangerous. He has nothing to defend that. Is the follow-up going to be mines here? It indeed is going to be mines. Spire, wait, that's not a Spire. Spire hasn't been scouted, but that's not actually where the Spire is. Spire is over here. It also hasn't been scouted, though. So, no matter what you, where you believe the Spire is, where you believe this Overlord might be cosplaying as a Spire, it just has not been scouted yet. Stim is on the way, Stim has already finished up. We see a quick Stim coming in, sniping 2 of these creep tumors. Scan coming in as well right now, double medevac with 10-ish, 10, 11, 12 Marines perhaps. Let's look at 12 Marines over here. A couple extra tumors are going to get taken out. Try to jump and snipe one of those queens. Will not quite succeed, as 1-1 is halfway done. Spire is about to finish up, and we have double expand coming out of Chum over here. Chum, who I don't think is that well known for Mutaling Bane. At least I don't know him for Mutaling Bane. I mainly know him as a Roach player, like a 1-1 Roach type of player. I don't know how good he is when it comes to a more active Mutaling Bane style, where mechanics are going to be more important. Chum is a player that's known for, not necessarily for his mechanics, but for good decision making, aggressive styles majority of the time. At least that's how I know him in the matchup. in ZVT as well as in ZVP. And I don't actually know him at all in ZVT, so I won't mention that matchup, I guess. This fort base might end up getting taken out. No, a couple of good transfuses coming in. Mines get triggered. As the Banelings will end up cleaning this up. Mutas are out, and we immediately see Cham going for the chase. Might actually end up taking out one or two of these medevacs, especially if he micros those Mutas correctly, which he starts doing right about now. Oh, 2 mines. Not going to hit too many of those links. Reynor in a world of trouble here as the Banelings are moving forward. Still no upgrades for Cham, who's playing a bit of a 0-0 no Evo chamber all in. Needs to deal a lot of damage or perhaps even kill Reynor straight up. 6 more Mutas are on the way. 32 more links also coming in. Reynor in so much trouble. This fort base most likely is not going to end up finishing up. Yes, the worker count for Cham is low, but the real issue here is that the unit count for Reynor is low. There's only 11 Marines against 43 links and 11 Mutas, and I don't really see a world in which Reynor gets out of this alive. Or maybe he can survive, but in what type of position are you in? 8 drones being built behind this. There is money for Evo chambers, and I think they definitely should be constructed at this point. There is a Thor on the way. The moment that Thor is out, that might give a little bit of like stability for Reynor that 3 Marines and half a Widowmine are not really capable of getting. And Reynor continues struggling here. But I guess the Thor. We'll have to wait and see what the Thor is going to be doing. But 78 workers against 52. It's going to be a very tough battle here for the young Italian. Ebays are going to stay alive. That's big. I guess with 2-2 upgrades, you do have a massive upgrade lead. The worker count is low, but the actual army supply... I mean, is it playable? 23 Marines. There's a lot of workers. I really think Cham is overdoing it a bit here. That's what, 86 workers against 48. He's trying to double his opponent here. He's having trouble spending his cash. 5 more Mutas, 9 Overlords on the way as well. Muta's trying to harass a little bit. 1-1 is finally on the way for Cham. There's going to be a very large timing window in which Reynor will be legitimately up 4 upgrades. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. These Mutalists will not be capable of fighting any group of Marines. Usually if you have like 19 Mutas and there's maybe 6-7 Marines with a medevac, you can fight that with the Mutas. In this case, I would not suggest doing that whatsoever. Like 2-2 Marines, they dish out, and they can receive as well. They're very powerful. That mine hit was big too. Reynor actually seems to be, I don't want to say in a good spot, but definitely a playable location. Instantly starts to +3 as well. We do have Hive on the way here for Cham, so eventually we'll be capable of getting the adrenal glands, maybe just straight up teching in into Ultras as well. That's a move that I would actually like here. Ultras with their tanky armor are just pretty much a hard counter to Marines. So the moment it's just a pure Marine army, no matter the upgrade, Ultras are going to absolutely destroy them the moment they get their chitinous plating out. It's something to keep in mind, that you're going to have a special upgrade just for the Ultralisk. You're going to need Marauders for that, but Marauder production is only at a single barracks right now. There is no money really for barracks 6, 7, and 8, at least not that I am seeing. Yeah, this is going to be quite a struggle here for Reynor, if Ultras actually do end up coming out, of course, in the near future. Not too many workers are in production either for the Italian Stallion, as he's been called. He's just sticking with 56 to 60-ish workers or so. Good control back here. This is just pure Marine though. Not a lot of mines to back this up either. I feel like Cham almost could have just attacked into that. That was pure Marine. I guess we shouldn't forget the 2-2 upgrades. That's actually a big deal. I keep forgetting about that. I look at these fights and I expect them to go kind of normal, but these are anything but normal fights, right? Being up 4 upgrades is not a standard situation at all. More Mutas have been constructed. I think we've seen like, 8 or so go down so far. And that's frustrating here, of course, for Cham, who ideally wants to continue building on top of that. Might as well play some more music, I realized. It's like having a bit of background. StarCraft music in general is quite good. A lot of the Blizzard, like the soundtracks and the music is good. I remember for Legacy of the Void, I think it was the Collector's Edition. Like a lot of pro players got a signed Collector's Edition. It also had a CD with the soundtrack in it. Imagine that, a CD in 2016. feel like CDs were pretty much phased out at that point already. Just like these turrets are being phased out rather aggressively. Double Tors, oh my god! Chum not really paying attention is going to end up losing a bunch of these Muras. A lot of the others are in the red as well. This is an interesting push out here. 3-3 about to finish up. This is fully on creep. Oh my god, look at that bailing count. 55 against, what is this, 58 Marines. So a bailing per Marine. There's 11 mines, which could have a big impact. Okay, there's one mine shot and another mine being taken out, but just a single bailing. Not the type of trades that Reynor really wants. Bailings. Good lord. He's just going into those Thors, huh? Straight into the Thors. What's the mine count here on the screen? We have 5, 3 of them have shot. That means we have 2 more available. And those 2, they're not even burrowed yet. Will just get taken out before they get the chance of doing anything. At the same time, good splits out of Reynor. Wow. That was a very impressive fight, actually. Without any mine help, that was a pure Marine army. Like 3 Marauders, and the rest was just Marine. Creep had mostly disappeared, I guess, especially around the edges here. That made it a little bit easier. And don't forget the upgrades 3-3 against 1-1. Chum in a world of trouble currently is getting the chitinous plating, and this is probably an upgrade that he needed in this fight with a couple of ultras as well. Right now it's really scary for him to build any ultras whatsoever. Reynor is very far ahead in army supply, but down in worker supply, and that could be an issue in the next minute and a half if Chum, well, stabilizes here. But the question is, can he actually stabilize? This game is very back and forth though, it's fun to watch. It's not been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a bad game either. Good setup here out of Chum, look at that. This is a beautiful surround if he gets it. There's just so many mines in the back now. Medevac count also is extremely high. That's 18 supply and medevacs there. So non-fighting units. Here comes the flank from 2 sides, or I guess a 3-sided attack here. Kind of collapsing on top of this army. 2-2 has finished up, and this is going to get pushed back with... Oh my... There was something in there. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. I think that was a Thor in there. It looked very big at least. Now we have our Ultra on the way as well. Double Spires are out. It's going to be +3 flyer attack, as well as +1 carapace already done. He's trying to go into Brute Lords here, which is interesting. This bottom base is... I don't want to say that it's toast, but the moment Reynor realizes it's there, a single drop is going to shut that down so ridiculously hard. It's actually going to hurt if you're a ZERG player. Unless you're Reynor, who also is a ZERG player usually, but in this case we'll be pretty happy with that. Mine's making our way towards this ramp as we have 1 Ultra out, 3 more on the way. I do believe that you want to wait for probably 1 or 2 more Ultras. Oh, actually with Transfuse maybe it's possible. Look at this. This 1 Ultra. Transfuse, there we go. Infinite HP here against these Marines. 2 Marauders are not going to be enough. Ultra doesn't want to go off creep though. Kind of understand that as well. Marauder production is starting now. Do we have a Ghost Academy yet? No, we do not. We only have 7 barracks as well. Now we have a couple of extra Ultralisks. And the great thing here is, for Chum, is that there already is a follow-up as well in these Brute Lords. I don't think this is a fight that Reynor actually can take here. I don't think he can. He's just going to get pushed back. He needs to fight, first of all, off creep, that's for sure. But even off creep, I mean, these Ultralisks are going to be capable of having such a good time here. One of these Ultras is falling a bit low. It can just be transfused once it comes back home to the Mama Queen. Lots of transfuses available. Yeah, there we go. Instantly back to full health. Bottom side single drop. This is what I was mentioning earlier. It's just going to end up taking that down. 16 minutes and 32 seconds into this game. And we're looking in a kind of at a scenario here where Reynor definitely has the bigger army. And he also has okay eco. But he doesn't have the correct army yet. This is still a very Marine-centric composition with hardly any Marauders to deal with the Ultras. There's nothing really prepared either for any type of follow-up. Like, if Brute Lords do come out, these Brute Lords are getting well upgraded. Look at that. 3-2 already on the way. Reynor hasn't even really thrown down a Ghost Academy yet, and that could be an issue here. Here comes an attack with Ultras coming in from 2 directions. A couple of links coming from the back. Will trigger these mines. Very nice move there out of Chum, but ends up losing more supply than he kills. It's odd to see. Felt like it should have been good, but Reynor taking some fantastic fights here. Upgrades have finally evened out with 3-3 versus 3-3. Feels like Chum wouldn't mind having some infestors here. I feel like it would be of a huge benefit to this comp. At the same time, double drop heading towards the bottom side. But it's like the 5 o'clock gets taken out. At the same time, this army will actually get pushed back. Yeah, Ultra's coming in clutch here on creep, of course. Single Ultra harass also on the other side of the map will take out a couple of these workers and then start running back home. Still no Ghost Academy. Confuses me, surprises me, hurts me a little bit. So I really believe that a Ghost Academy here is going to be key eventually. I do like the 5 Marauder production at a time. It's going to help against the Ultras, but there's a storm coming. And it's going to consist of 12 Corruptors morphing into Broodlords. Good luck holding your side positions, right? Like, this is just going to suck in a big way. If Reynor loses this 5th base, this is really where the mining is happening currently. He doesn't actually have that many orbitals at all. He's like 3 or 4. 3 orbitals, which means that he needs actual, like, kind of organic mining from the SCVs. And also he needs these bases. He can't just quickly fly over an orbital, throw down 25 mules and be okay for a while. No, he absolutely cannot. Corruptors are out on the map. We just initially start by taking out some of these medevacts actually. Kind of a cool move. But at the same time, getting brutes here would be so sick. The one thing that Broodlords do is they usually end up slowing down the game a decent chunk. So that might give Reynor the time to kind of set up a 6th base and throw down like 7 or 8 extra orbital commands. It could be an issue. Something needs to happen fast though. This is a powerful army. Look at the Marauder count here. What is it? 24 Marauders against 4 Ultras. These brutes are going to be a necessity here. Earlier, when he started the transition, they felt more like a luxury, but now it's turning into a real necessity for him to stay alive against such a Marauder-centric army. Look at this massive Marauder comp. That's actually kind of crazy. At the same time, double drops heading towards the bottom side as well. We have a couple of Banes going in over here. Broodies coming in. We'll probably try and take out some of these Marauders. Bang, bang. Yeah, the upgrades here are such a big deal. If these are 0-0 or 1-0 Broodlords, this is completely different. But there's a real threat here. I love this decision out of Reynor. Look at that. He just picks up everything, goes in towards the main base, saying, alright, make a decision, buddy, and make the correct one. Either fly to my base and kill it, but lose your entire main base. Or, well, come back home and lose a lot of time. Give me time to prepare for your follow-up. Viking production has already started here. Don't forget, ship weapons haven't been researched, though. Hive gets sniped, though. That is a huge deal. Triple Ghost production on the way as well. Banelings just rolling into these Marauders. Definitely not the ideal play. We see this is a pure Marauder army right now. I mean, great for sniping buildings, but not so great when there's Corruptors and Broodlords out. You can't really kill those. Reynor's just all over the place. Look at this. Kind of want to go first person for a little bit here. There's like 1, 2, 3 groups currently on the map. And it's kind of macroing behind it as well. Look at that. The speed of this kid is absolutely insane. It's just bonkers how fast he is. There's a lot of cash in the bank, but is lacking in the gas department. Had only been mining from 8 refineries this entire game. And right now, no, actually, only from 6. Right now he double gases on 2 bases. Oh my god, he's gonna go up to 10, from 6 to 10. He's really been lacking in gas. Orbital count still is only at 3 as well, but 2 extra command centers. One of them definitely could turn into an orbital, as this Marine Marauder force eventually should get cleaned up. Chum is chasing this army around, but there is a real issue here. There really is a real issue here for Reynor still. And I think we should focus on that a little bit as well, is that his army is good, but it can't really fight. And Chum's eco is bad, but his army can fight. And there's just 2 little bases for Reynor right now. This top left side base and this base that are eventually going to land, right? These are real issues for Reynor if they end up going down. He just doesn't have the resources. He just doesn't have them. I mean, Chum definitely doesn't have the resources, but at least he already has an army that is going to be close to impossible to beat. Reynor continues running around for a bit more here with, what is this, 6 Ghosts, a couple of Marauders, a bunch of Marines as well. Hive coming in once again for Chum. I wonder if Chum is going to drone up or just say, hey, I want to actually get a massive army right now and push you at one go when I get like 200 supply. I would respect both of the decisions. On one way, I want to say, hey, there's still a lot of mineral patches on your side. You can definitely rebuild off of like maybe 60, 65 workers. But on the other hand, it's like, well, maybe the only way you're winning is if you're consistently taking good fights right now. And a good way to take good fights is to just be up like 20, 25 army supply. And that could definitely be the case if Chum manages to max out. That's going to be an issue on itself as well. Just finding the time to max out here. Because it isn't necessarily unrelenting pressure out of Reynor, but it's pretty consistent pressure, right? And he always comes in from two sides. Oh my god, look at this snipe. Or this potential snipe that he wanted to go for. There's no infestors here with this army. There's some cute little control here out of these Vikings. I don't think I've seen this before. This type of move. Also extremely risky in case of Vipers, in case of infestors. Okay, now 4 Vipers get constructed immediately. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's 100% the correct call. Orbital command has moved to this location. So that was the command center from over here. Turned into an orbital and then started moving there. This is all orbitals here on the edges. That means that if a single Ling run by gets in there, that could really do a lot of damage. But right now, the good thing for Reynor is that his mining bases are a bit spread out. And because this is kind of a slow army that sticks together, even if you're forced to lift one base, you still always have the other base. So trading a base for a base at this point would probably be okay for Reynor. But I don't even think Chum is going to be capable of taking out a base. He's going to lose this mined out base. And that doesn't do too much for Reynor, except pretty much make it clear that this bottom side is not going to be taken anymore this game. At least not anytime soon. Here comes a bit of a fight. Vikings in the middle of the map. Do we get a stim? We don't need a stim apparently. Here come a couple of parasitic bombs. Oh my god. Fungal parasitic bomb combo is so deadly. At the same time, a couple of ultras did end up falling. Choop choop choop. A couple of snipes go off here. Another command center is on the way. Mineral income of 1600 versus 2100. Gas income of 1600 against 291 here. On Chum's peak, only gets 291 gas a minute. That's working off of what? 2 geysers? No. Wait, what is he working on? He's working off of 0 geysers. Wait, how's he still mining gas? Oh, he started mining now. Wait, what? Did he just run out? How did that happen? It must have just been from earlier. Wild stuff. It is what it is. Alright, 4 Thors on the way here. Double command centers as well. This is a very solid play, I think. Just adding more and more command centers, adding in the Thors, getting the vehicle weapons, and just kind of threatening a base trade, I think would be a pretty solid move here. The moment Chum decides to attack, you attack yourself as well. And you start taking out things like tech, clear a lot of creep on that right side. This is somewhat scary here for Reynor. Does micro it correctly though. And he's going to end up taking out a lot of these banelings. Every trade at this point is a good trade, because Reynor most likely is going to end up mining a lot more. So even if Reynor would just end up, well, at this point just ends up trading semi-efficiently, like a 1-to-1 ratio, I think Reynor's going to be just fine with this, because he's going to be the one with more money, with more income. I think this bottom side base can still be mined for Reynor. This base has some potential, while we do see Chum kind of crawling towards this top side right now. And eventually maybe gets to saturate a base over there. Still some bases in the middle as well, but overall I'm feeling, I'm getting big Reynor vibes this game, honestly. Command center will start burning as Chum decides to move around to try and deal with his medevacs. There's a lot of mines in here, no? It's like all the mines in the entire game. 8 mines total, there's 7 here in just this group. Very interesting moves. Very interesting move. I'm surprised that there's still so much creep as well. That's kind of a mistake here out of our TERRAN player. Who's on 69. Nice. Workers here. The army comp for Chum looks so powerful though. If we get an actual fight right now, I don't know. 8 Thors, 8 Ghosts, is that enough? 12 Broodlords isn't the biggest amount. Do we have... Okay, no Neural Parasite. Is there an infestation pit? There is. So technically Neural Parasite could still be researched. It just hasn't happened yet. I think it's going to be absolutely key in the next few fights to get that. Like in my mind, Neural Parasite is going to be a game changer here against those Thors. Maybe even get a Neuroparasite on a Ghost and get an EMP off on the other Ghost is a move that we have seen rather frequently recently. Full Medivac going to get taken out here. So we do have these bases establishing the bottom side of the map. I'm surprised we haven't even seen a single run by towards this. Like, even if it's just like 5 links. With Adrenal Glands, 3/3 upgrades, and you freaking rip through SCVs so fast. It's crazy stuff, crazy stuff. You go hard. Links go hard, they really do. More Thors on the way. Vehicle weapons also level 2. Nearing completion. Well, a little bit over halfway. So, practically nearing completion. "17 Corruptors." It's just going to be about... Well, the thing is, Reynor has 2 fights in him, right? Not necessarily right now, but I don't think that Chum can push straight across the map if he wins 1 fight. So there's always going to be another fight. Perhaps a bit of a weaker army for Reynor, but it's still possible. So Chum doesn't need to win this fight. He needs to crush this fight. Like, absolutely destroy it. This is a really good attack, by the way. I love that. Absolutely love that. Here comes Chum. Oh my god, that's a huge Blinding Cloud. Brilliant flank as well coming out of our Mexican Zerg player. There are no Neural Parasites on this army. A couple of fungals will end up hitting. Broodlord's dealing a lot of damage against these Thors, and I do believe that Chum is going to absolutely clean house here. What a fantastic engagement here out of our Mexican Zerg. Really showing his superior understanding of the matchup. At least when it comes to the fighting. He completely destroyed that fight. He really did. There still are some Infestors left. 5 more Ghosts on the way, 4 more Thors as well. Reynor in absolute shambles right now. And I said it wasn't going to be possible for Chum to go across the map and kill, but Chum believes different. Chum believes that he has carved out enough of an army lead that he can go in. If this base gets taken out, that would be a huge deal. Kind of sad here for Chum that he doesn't have any Banelings left, so he can just clear this bottom planetary as well, because that's really all the mining that Reynor has right now. This is going to be it for Reynor when it comes to income, when it comes to money. Chum actually starting to probably outmine his opponent relatively soon, because it's just a single base mining and like 1.5 patch over here. Broodlords are very far off creep. These queens are off creep, which means that transfuses can't really happen. Army supplies 122 against 76. Oh my god, this is such a nail biter of a game here. Kind of wild. 8 Ghosts, 5 Thors. 5 more Ghosts and 2 more Thors on the way. 60 SCVs. Vehicle plating level 3. Dude's kind of sick, honestly. Like, I just don't see how Reynor's going to have a successful fight here. He's going in for a flank. You can just walk down this ramp, no shot. Maybe you can? I guess there's so much supplying Corruptors here that I didn't quite realize. Because that last fight had so many Vikings. Oh my god, I completely misunderstood this fight. I just looked at the supplies, but I should have looked at the army comp. There was a lot of Corruptors that were forced out because of the Vikings, which were completely useless. There were no Abducts here, there were no Neural Parasites. And now all that is left is, what, 20 Corruptors? 13 Corruptors! 13 Corruptors, 68 Links and 3 Infestors. And that simply isn't going to be good enough here against the army that Reynor has amassed. There's 8 Thors, there's 3 Hellbats, there's 9 Ghosts. Any number of those units by themselves would probably be capable of winning. Well, except for the 3 Hellbats. But the Ghost and the... Well, also the Ghost. 63 Links, that's a lot. Never mind. Actually, none of these units by themselves would be capable of winning. I take back everything I said in the past 15 seconds. Sad. Interesting run by here coming out of Chum, wanting to go for the infrastructure. I think he's just going to end up getting booted here by these Marines. Well, actually, definitely not the case. A couple of Hellions are going to move back home. There's no blue flame yet. Does mean that these Links will eventually get caught. Reynor slowly but surely moving forward. There's no Medivacs with this army though. No Medivacs whatsoever with this army. There's 2 Medivacs out total, but they're all at home. That means that a stim is going to hurt this army. Any damage you deal to the Ghost is going to be permanent as well. Banelings are rolling in. Is there really enough though? I think the answer is no. No, the answer is no. I think so at least. Ultras are going to end up falling. What a close and ridiculous game. 13 workers against 17. 54 supply against 46 with all the supplies left in Corruptors as Reynor wins this game here on Tropical Sacrifice. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be it. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this, as Reynor showcases some strong Terran play. Very different as well. I don't want to say that he plays it as ZERG, but he did kind of play it like a ZERG, didn't he? Low, primitive units. Like, well, not at this point anymore, but for a very long time, just these Marine Marauder squads and just using them to base trade and run by in a way. We even saw something, I think it was over here. At some point there's like just a squad of Marine Marauders stimming on creep without medevacs whatsoever. I thought it looked hilarious. It was at the point where he was doing 3 multitaskings at the same time. Really, really sick play. Actually playing it like it's ZERG. Like very similar, in my opinion. Like the mindset there. Super aggressive, super mind focused. And then once he's like, okay, I now really need to get Ghost Thor, he starts going into Ghost Thor. Exciting. Alright, that will be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more off races from pro players. Tough luck, these replays are really difficult to get. I also need to pull some strings, aka message Reynor on Skype or somewhere else, and it's difficult. Before you know it, you're stuck in a conversation with Reynor, and that's the last thing you want. So, don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.